Alright, we are going to get this stream going. I'm going to change I will be pulling up here a video of what happened with this big news, and we will see how this will go. There has been full details on the trade. I just need to get stuff pulled out here. Let's see if we just pull out Chicago Bears. Let's see, Chicago Bears, Khalil Mack. We gotta go details. Search that, see what happens. And maybe if I go to okay. I pretty much watched every video. Alright, they got the full trade details here. I am watching 5 Sports Talk. You can subscribe to him. This is 5 Sports Talk. Go subscribe to him. The Aaron Donald signing did happen, yes. Yeah, they didn't want to. The Raiders didn't want to pay Khalil Mack the money that Khalil Mack wanted, and after they saw Aaron, here, let me pause it for a second. After they saw Aaron Donald get that contract, that huge contract, it was somewhere around $135 million, I think, over 6 years. That's a lot of money. That's quarterback money right there. And after they saw that, Khalil Mack's just like, why am I getting a contract like this? And the Raiders are just like, okay, we're gonna have to trade him then. So the Raiders didn't want to get nothing out of him, but there should be no price set on a player. There's no price. There should be no price for a trade on a player like Khalil Mack, no matter who you trade, unless it's on the level of Khalil Mack. Even I wouldn't do. If I were like the Raiders and I traded Khalil Mack for Von Miller, I still wouldn't do that because that would just ruin the locker room chemistry. I just wouldn't do it. Okay, and Khalil Mack is just as good as Von Miller, I think, in my opinion. But when you trade Khalil Mack for just 2 first-round picks and some other stuff, I'm pretty sure it was just some more picks even. It was like around like 4 picks that the Oakland Raiders got out of that. And the Bears also got I think it was a 2020 second-round pick. It might have been a 2019. We're going to have to see. 5 Sports Talk has got the complete details about it. Again, go subscribe to him. And you trade Khalil Mack for 4 picks. Only 4? How do you know that Khalil Mack is on that level where you can do nothing to get the right price for him. He's on that level to where you're never going to get the right price for him. There's no way. And 4 first-round picks, I don't think you're going to hit. I don't think you're going to hit on any of those picks. I mean, they're not 4 first-round picks. I think they got 2 firsts, a third, and a sixth. I don't know what years they were, but they were in 2019 and 2020. So they're going to be in the next couple drafts. I don't think you're going to hit on any of those trades, on any of those picks, to where they're going to add up to be as good as what Mack has done. I just don't see it. Khalil Mack is a bona fide superstar, not just an all-star, a bona fide superstar. And he has shown that he is a consistent defensive player night in and night out. I do have a low battery here. I probably should plug in my phone. Okay. And we will in this right here. This is ridiculous. Like, why would you? It's just clueless to me. If Khalil Mack wants that kind of money, then do it. Please do it. Just pay him. He's your best player by a mile. No, not even by a mile. By a freaking whatever is longer than a mile. If it's 100 miles, if it's 200, he's way higher. The second best player is probably Amari Cooper, or their center, I forgot his name, or a Kalichi Osemele, or something like that. It says low battery. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, it's charging right now. So that's why I just don't really understand the trade, because you're giving up a top 5 defensive player. He fell right in your laps at number 5. Couldn't you show some appreciation and just give one of the best, if not the best pass rusher in the NFL what he wants? And now the Raiders fans are just looking around like, what are we doing now? If you were going to trade Khalil Mack, you could have at least gotten an instant impact player. But instead, you only get 4 picks, and then you give the Bears a second-round pick. Honestly, this is good for me. I'm a Bears fan, but I'm still mad at the Raiders. It's just dumb. It's an idiotic move. It's so idiotic. People are blaming John Gruden because John Gruden thinks that he can do this he thinks he can build a team without, those superstar players, which if you're going to be a Super Bowl team, you need a superstar player. It's just that simple. It is just that simple. Carson Wentz was that superstar player for the Eagles. He had an MVP caliber season. They won the Super Bowl. If the Packers, they won that Super Bowl against the Steelers, guess who they had? All they had, well, I shouldn't say all they had. That team was really good, well-rounded. They had Aaron Rodgers. There's no way you're going to win without a superstar player. It's just that simple. And I hope you understand what I'm trying to say, because this is true. You need a superstar player in this league to win Super Bowls. Of course, my 85 Bears, they ran over the league because they had a couple of superstar players, actually. Nick Perry at the time, I wouldn't say that he's a superstar player, but he was very good. But they surefire superstar players, Walter Payton, Mike Singletary, they ran over the league. And the Raiders just expect to win without a bona fide superstar. Derek Carr, I don't think he's gonna be as good as like a Carson Wentz. I don't think he's gonna be as good. He might be on the level of only like a Matthew Stafford or a Matthew Stafford or maybe a Ryan Tannehill ain't even that good even. He's probably like one of those lower tier quarterbacks. But you get what I mean. And Amari Cooper, he's not really, I don't really see him as a superstar. He's one of the better, he's probably like one of the mid-tier wide receivers, along with like maybe like Alshon Jeffries or the Alsons. And he may be a little better, but there's no clear superstar on this team now without Khalil Mack, and that's why I am very upset. Now that we are about 12 minutes into this, we should probably get on with the
second most sacked from 2015 to 2017. Oh, and did I mention he turns 20 next February?
He only turns he's 26. He turns 27 next February. Khalil Mack. He was supposed to be your franchise master. He was supposed to be your franchise player. So why wouldn't you give him that money? What are you going to spend on it? There wasn't really. You might have had some weaknesses in the secondary. You might have had, but you could easily spread that money out. You could have, Donald Penn is going to retire here soon. So is some of your other offensive. Marshawn Lynch he's getting older. You could have just spread the money out. I mean, you could have still kept Khalil Mack. I probably would have paid Khalil Mack and then see what you would have done the next offseason. But let's just get on with the video. Did anybody realize that he, in the past, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 years or so? No, wait, that's how. In the past maybe 3 years, 4 years, maybe, ever since maybe he started his career, he's had at least 10 sacks. So that is just something. And he's got very good awareness as well.
Okay, so if you're not going to pay that, what are you going to pay? Okay, you're talking about your arguably your best player on the field, and in the locker room, he's great as well. And you just don't want to pay him the money, but you were able to pay a coach who hasn't coached in 10 years in this league and shell out $100 million for him? Really?
You're telling me you're not willing to give a Khalil Mack $135 million, but you're willing to give a coach $100 million over 10 seasons, who is basically ruining your team. I mean, I enjoy John Gruden. I really do. But only in the booth. He was really good in the booth. I really liked him. I really liked him as a draft analyst. He hasn't coached in a long time. And you trust him more? His first season back with the Raiders, you trust him more than you trust your franchise player. You trust a first-year coach after 10 years than your franchise player. Where are you going to spend that extra $23 million with.
Oakland, really? I'm not so sure about that. So clearly holding out, and rightfully should have, because he needs to get paid what he is worth. This man
He needed to
is
get
a
paid.
stud, okay? And he saw him down get that money. And that's exactly what he wanted. So again, Raiders foolishly decided not to pay him, and now they were looking to trade him. You heard a lot of rumors about the Jets.
You know, he's like top tier. Linebackers are, they're not only I'm speechless right now. This is good from my side. I'm gonna talk about my side, but I gotta get this out of the way first. When a guy is on that tier like Khalil Mack was, and he asks to get paid, why wouldn't you be willing to pay as much as a guy? Mack is asking to get paid, and he is on that level. He is on like that level. He was on that level of greatness, like, and you're not willing to pay him. What he wanted. Like, I believe that football players should get paid more, and this is what's going on. You know, the salary needs to be treated better for football players. I think football players need to get paid more, especially when you look at the NBA. Stephen Curry, I mean, it's not like, I wouldn't say that basketball is like cupcakes compared to football, but basketball, I don't think it's anywhere close to as much of a physical sport as it is for football. Guys are putting their health on the line out there. Basketball, not so much. You're just the worst injury you're gonna get is probably, you're not gonna really get as much career-ending injuries in basketball as you are in football, and they're still making $40 million a year over there. Like the very top tier players in the NBA getting $40 million. Top tier players in the NFL are only getting like around 20 million. And I think that should go higher because they're just doing more physically, and the NFL isn't just willing to transition to that, and that's another problem with this trade.
And the Bears were a little bit in those rumors as well, but
The Bears were in some rumors. I didn't believe it as much. I feel like the Bears were just in those trade rumors. I felt like the Bears were only in those trade rumors because they had a big need at edge rusher, because Leonard Floyd was injured again. Doesn't surprise me. Leonard Floyd's kind of pissing me off right now, and it's kind of tough because I don't want him to be the next Kevin White. Although Kevin White, shout out to Kevin White. He's been doing pretty good in the preseason, so I shout out to him. But Leonard Floyd, he wasn't really a surefire superstar edge rusher yet. Everybody thought he was until he got that injury. But these guys that keep on getting injured, and it's tough, you know, but that's why I feel like we were only in the rumors, because our edge rushers were like terrible besides Leonard Floyd, who had the potential. I mean, Leonard Floyd had the potential to be very good, but now I just felt, I didn't know that this trade was actually going to happen. I thought we were just in the rumors because our edge rushers were just terrible.
in the entire NFL, when he wants somebody, he goes out and gets that person traded up.
I actually want to talk about Ryan Pace for a second. Ryan Pace, the offseason before this offseason, I looked at him as a terrible GM. He didn't really go out for any of the top players. He settled on Mike Glennon, and I was kind of mad about that. He didn't really show any confidence in himself and just decided to get one of those guys, that just doesn't really make any sense. Like, it was like the AJ McCarron signing for the Buffalo Bills. And I'm just like, really? You're going to get Mike Glennon, and who has barely proven himself. And honestly, I would have gotten Jimmy Garoppolo. I would have acquired him from a trade. But that's just a different story now. He ended up on the 49ers. But Ryan Pace, after that, I mean, he got Deion Sims, whatever. Kendall Wright was one of the better signings, but then he ended up going to the I can't remember what team he ended up going to, but if you guys can tell me what that is, that'd be nice. But Ryan Pace, he definitely did good this offseason. He felt like he needed to be better, and he was aggressive this offseason, he's like, I got all this cap space. Why not be aggressive and go out for the best players? And that's what he did. And that's I applaud that Ryan Pace for doing that. And he just kept, and he said he felt like he had way too much confidence in himself. And he kind of did. He kind of felt like a little bit arrogant and decided to just go out and get Khalil Mack. Like, I mean, I credit him for that, but he also got Allen Robinson. He got Taylor Gabriel. He got Trey Burton. He got a lot of playmakers on the offensive side that really helped a lot. And I feel like he just transformed himself. So Ryan Pace changed how people look at him in just this offseason alone. He has transformed the Bears into maybe 9-7, 10-6 team. From a 5-11 team to now maybe 9-7 and 10-6 team. So Ryan Pace, you show that you were one of the better teams in the NFL in just this offseason alone. Sorry if I ramble and with the long pauses and stuff. I'm trying to think as we go.
The key word here is bold, and GM Ryan Pace is bold as they come. So the official trade.
He was really bold this offseason. I never thought he would be this gutsy, but he was.
And the final trade is the Oakland Raiders get a 2019 first-round pick.
2019 first-round pick. Okay, here. He's actually got it showed on the screen. The Raiders get a 2019 first-round pick, a 2020 first-round pick. So that's our first-round picks for the next 2 years. That's okay, because in the third-round pick in 2020 as well. So we would be only stuck with a second-round pick in a second-round pick in that in 2020 and a sixth-round pick in 2019. Two first-round picks, a third and a sixth for Khalil Mack. That's a bargain. And Ryan Pace. Ryan Pace could probably just trade for a first-round pick for nothing, because that's how much of he's proven himself. Not only that, but They didn't only get Khalil Mack. They got a 2020 second round pick, and they got a 2020 fifth round pick. Ryan Pace, I mean, he's something else. I'm telling you, he's proven himself to be one of the better GMs in just one offseason. I'm telling you, how'd he manage to trade only four picks, 2 seconds, a third, and a sixth, and get Khalil Mack and a 2020 second round pick and a 2020 fifth round pick? That's just unheard of.
2 first-round picks to the Raiders for Khalil Mack, which is the price to pay for a guy this good. I know people are going to freak out about 2 first-round picks, but like I said, this is the price to pay for a guy who's this good. But the Bears are getting back at a second-round pick, so not only lost your end, they're getting back a fifth-round pick.
Exactly. They got a first. They traded 2 first-round picks. Everybody's freaking out. Oh, those picks could be good. They're getting Khalil Mack back from this trade. Khalil Mack, are you really going to find another Khalil Mack with those first-round picks? Or 2 guys that can be as good as Khalil Mack? Probably not. A third round pick. I'm not sure if that matters as much, or a 6th round pick. Definitely not. That could probably end up as a cut to be good with a 53-man roster. And he gets a 2020 second round pick and a 5th round pick. That 5th round pick.
Some equity back, and of course now they're going to shell out the money for Khalil Mack. Like I said, man, I mean, my God.
They will have to pay for Khalil Mack. This is true.
Drafted him, okay? Who's the best player in college on the defense, man, of course. And a lot of people, including myself, think he's going to be the defensive rookie of the year. You have re-signed your great defensive coordinator, Vic Fangio. Now you got Khalil Mack. Oh my goodness, this game.
Khalil Mack is joining a defense that was top 10 last year. This is hold on. Bears won this trade coming from a Raider fan. Well, of course. All they had to do was give up 2 first-round picks, a 3rd-round pick, and a 6th. I feel bad for you. I mean, I did rant early on that the Raiders did they didn't know what they were doing. I feel sorry for you. I don't know what the Raiders are going to do now. We'll have to see. But if you're going to give it, if you can give up just 2 first-round picks, a 3rd and a 6th, and then get a 2nd and a 5th back, then do it. Why wouldn't you do that for Khalil Mack? Like, it's not. How are 2 first-round picks going to equal what Khalil Mack can do? Khalil Mack is a rare talent. And I was going to say, Khalil Mack is joining a top 10 defense, 9th in points allowed, 7th in sacks, 10th in yards allowed. And that's only going to get even better. The Bears' defense is going to be really good this season. I mean, they lost Pernell McPhee. They lost Jarrell Freeman. Jarrell Freeman was never really in the games anyways. Pernell McPhee also had injury problems. And now that you get Khalil Mack out of that deal, Roquan Smith, Eddie Jackson, Adrian Amos, who's proven to be one of the better, one of the top tier strong safeties in this league. And then you got Roquan Smith, who was the 8th pick in the last draft. He's going to be something special, I'm sure. And you go from there. I forgot about Akeem Hicks. Akeem Hicks is a very good defensive end as well. He's going to be on the other side of Khalil Mack. And maybe Leonard Floyd. I heard that he's going to be back by week 1. I didn't even talk about Kyle Fuller, who had a breakout season, or Bryce Callahan, or Prince Amukamara. This defense is going to be really good. The offense did really good. Was very well upgraded with Allen Robinson and Taylor Gabriel, so that is something to watch out for.
It's going to be absolutely ridiculous. Not to mention the fact that I love their offense even more. So you're talking about a balanced football team on both sides of the ball. Now you see why a lot of people.
Khalil Mack was a beast. I didn't read that comment. I'm gonna have to get back to that real quick.
The Eagles and the Rams and the leap that they made. So certainly, I can definitely see that, especially now when you get a French.
Khalil Mack was a beast without help. Now he has a good defense. Oh man. Now he has a good DC and good defensive players around him. It's gonna help a lot.
Guys, changing player like Khalil Mack, they don't grow on trees, folks, and that is why I said, looking at the price, it looks hefty, but that is the price you have to pay. And when you're trying to win a Super Bowl, folks, I'm telling you guys like this, you don't find anywhere else. And again, just hark back when we're talking about the Raiders.
Are you sure the Raiders are gonna find a guy like Khalil Mack with those 2 first-round picks? I keep on expressing myself about this because this is. Oh, by the way, leave a like if you're enjoying this. By the way, but are you gonna really find a Khalil Mack as hold on one second. Not only does it help. All right, here. Not only does it help the team, but the D as a whole, cause you have to game plan for Mack, and Vic is one of the highest praised defense coaches out there. I did forget about Vic Fangio. Vic Fangio is probably the best defensive coordinator. Well, maybe second best. But he's probably the second best, if not the best, defense coordinator in the NFL. And you're giving him this defense. This defense is going to be unstoppable. I mean, I wouldn't say that it's on the level of like the Vikings or the Rams this season. But this new breed is exactly proving my point. These 2 picks are not gonna. They probably could be really good. Like if you talk about maybe, I don't think our pick is gonna be as high because now we have Khalil Mack, but it's gonna be like maybe around maybe 10th through 15th. If you get a guy like you're probably gonna get a solid guy, but it's 2 solid guys, but they're not gonna be as good as Khalil Mack, and that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So, and the Bears are going to have to give Khalil Mack the largest contract that a defensive player has ever gotten, but that's what you have to do. I believe in defensive players getting quarterback money. I do, because they affect the game as much as edge rushers, I think, affect the game as much as a quarterback does, because they are what help defend what's behind the line and everything like that. If you disagree with me, that's fine, but they kind of control what the running game is and what the quarterback's going to do. What they affect the quarterback's confidence as well. So this is obviously a good trade for the Bears. All right, hold on. We got another. I'm gonna read out all the way I see it. you have a Hall of Fame player in Mack, and if you think he is that good, if you think he is that good, take your shot. Don't sit on your hands with and wait. If you have the opportunity to get Khalil Mack for two first round picks,
Okay, so again, Raiders, foolish here. I don't know why the heck they didn't want to pay him. But hey, we'll take it as Bears fans. Like I said, now we got a stud defense.
drop a like,
So I think this is going to be great. I think the Bears defense, I certainly have to
hit the subscribe button.
My official predictions. I'm probably going to add one or two more wins. Certainly can see the Bears now go 500 because the defense is going to be able to.
I'd say the Bears could go 8-8, 9-7.
Even better, and this is not even just
Probably still at the bottom of the NFC North, maybe ahead of the Lions. Probably third or fourth, but an 8-8, probably one of the best 8-8 teams in the NFL.
You have the quarterback and you get the guy who can stop the quarterback. Okay, Bears got their quarterback in Mitchell Trubisky, or I hope they did because I believe in him and I hope he can turn that corner. And now they got the guy that can stop the quarterback in Khalil Mack, and you got Roquan Smith as well. I love it, folks.
All right, guys, I want to ask you a question. Do you guys? This is like the one glaring question with this team, and that's how good can Mitchell Trubisky be? I want to hear your guys's opinions on that. How good can Mitchell Trubisky be? It would be because I think he can be as good as probably somebody like a Matthew Stafford, maybe like one of those franchise quarterbacks who's gonna do whatever. Okay, we got somebody said Bisp 25. I hope I pronounced that right. Von Miller makes 18 million with 65 million guaranteed. We offered Mack 19 million with 85 million guaranteed, and Mack said no. That was more than a fair offer. How is that Gruden's fault? I get what you're saying here. Von Miller and Khalil Mack are probably on the same level. I do get that, but this is where we're gonna start going into a phase where players are going to start getting paid more. They look at like people in the NBA and how much they're getting paid and how much they should be getting paid, because football is a much physical sport. You cannot argue that. And these guys are risking their health, and they deserve to get paid. I think they deserve to get paid more than NBA players. I mean, you saw Richard Sherman. He went on a strike and said, we want to get paid more than NBA players. It's just that simple. And we're just going into that stage, and that's just how it is, Khalil Mack, he's just trying. I think he's trying to help that phase, and that's just what he's going to do. He's a guy that can give you 10 sacks a season, if not more, and that's just how it is. Okay, Dakota Bear seems they gonna make him game manage. They have a run game and some solid weapons in the pass game, and let the D hold its own. The Bears, they're very much an up-and-coming team. They do have weapons in the passing game, like you said, Allen Robinson, Taylor Gabriel, Trey Burton, Anthony Miller, who they got in the draft. And then on the defensive side, we never really talked about the offensive line. The offensive line is a little bit questionable. Charles Leno has been pretty good. Bobby Massey, I'm not very sure, but they've also got Cody Whitehair. They've gotten James Daniels, and they've gotten Kyle Long. So that's a very good offensive line, and people are taking our offense for granted. Oh, they're gonna go 6-10 with Khalil Mack and a bunch of offensive weapons for Mitchell Trubisky with a young offensive mind and the second best defensive coordinator in the NFL with one of the best defenses in the NFL. Oh, they're gonna go 6-10. The Bears suck all the time. We just got to give them a 6-10 record, right? Since the Bears always suck, we're just gonna give them a 6-10 record. That's what kind of makes me mad. The Bears always suck. Just give them a 6-10 record prediction. I know our schedule is tough this year, but people are underestimating our defense. Oh, their secondary sucks. Oh, what are they going to do with the linebacking corps? Oh, Roquan Smith still has to prove himself. Oh, why'd they let go of Darrell Freeman? People don't look at the Bears good enough. They just don't. They think that they're just not good enough, and it's terrible. And I really don't appreciate that. But now the Bears are going to get their share of attention with this trade for about the next week or so. Khalil Mack, I'm pretty sure they might have to. I don't know if he has to sit out by week 1. Maybe they can get him through the plays for about. Maybe they can get him through the plays, have him learn the defense. Maybe they can get him right in just a nick of time before Sunday night, which is not tomorrow. That's next week. But yeah, I was only planning to do this for. I was planning to do this for about an hour, but it looks like it's about. It's longest 40 minutes of my life, that's for sure. Please leave a like down below. That'd be awesome for you to do that. And I hope you guys we got a question right here. Really the weak point is the right tackle, not to bash last year. Not to bash last year. Massey was up and down, and you can really find some great linemen in the draft example. Kelsey was the 7th round pick, and he was solid. In 2 or 3 years, Bears will have to let go of some core players. You know what? Both of you are right. What they do when Mitch wants 25 mil. Mitch ain't gonna want 25 mil. He won't. He won't prove himself, and I don't think he'll. If he'll get 25 mil, he would have to be as good as maybe Matthew Stafford, and I don't think he's gonna be that good. But we'll have to see. But you are right about the Blackhawks. And the Blackhawks were very disappointing this year. Yeah, they were supposed to win a lot of games with Brandon Saad and Patrick Kane, but they never did. But when we look at our young players, we had to pay Kyle Fuller a lot. Bryce Callahan have to get paid a lot as well. Hopefully not too much. Hopefully maybe we can have some guys get some pay cuts. I think that's probably what we're gonna have to do. Roquan Smith, obviously he's on his rookie contract. Danny Trevathan getting a lot of money too. I don't think this Khalil Mack trade will put us in too bad of a situation, and I don't think it'll do bad. We'll just re-sign our guys. It's just that simple. You don't have to. Pace did lose a couple picks, but all we have to do is just re-sign our guys. I mean, I don't know if we would probably be below the cap, but if it's what keeps our guys together, then that's what we have to do, and it's just what we're gonna have to do. So this defense is gonna be really good. But when the defense is going to be really good, the offense is questionable. We'll have to see what happens with Matt Nagy and what he can do. A lot of our core players are on rookie contracts, so we're good for a couple years. We might have to sign Khalil Mack to maybe a 6-year deal, like the Aaron Donald trade. I mean, the Aaron Donald deal. But that's what we got to do. That's what we got to do. We needed a star. We needed an actual superstar, and we got one. The reason why our defense was so good because we had a leader of that defense. That was Brian Urlacher. Brian Urlacher was that captain on defense. Now it's Khalil Mack's turn. And potentially even Roquan Smith. So if we lose a couple core players, then that's what we got to do. We can sign some veterans here and there. We can, that's what a lot of football teams had to do. They lost some core players and they replaced them with veteran guys, and that's what you have to do sometimes. And I don't think we should look so far ahead. Honestly, like what I just said, we shouldn't be looking so far ahead. We probably shouldn't be looking 50 years ahead. But I don't know, maybe guys will be making 50 years from now. Guys will be making probably $1 billion a year. Let's just say that. All right. Every year, the salary cap increases. So that's what makes contracts even bigger and bigger every year. So that's what I got for today. Please leave a like down below. And make sure if you missed some parts, make sure you look. They needed they didn't have a identity on the team. What do you mean by that? They didn't have it. Oh, you're talking about they needed to trade for Khalil Mack. They need an actual identity. Well, Khalil Mack is going to put some butts in some seats now because this is what's going to bring them attention. This is going to have the Bears have more of a share of attention because now they have a superstar on their team. It's just that simple. I think the losers of this trade. I'm not saying this just because I am a Bears fan, but the winner of this trade was the Bears. There should be no price in a trade for a guy like Khalil Mack. So that's all I got for today. If you haven't, please leave a like down below, subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys next time. Check out my other podcasts as well. That'd be nice. It's about the NBA, and it's with my brother.